Chapter 7, Native Interaction, StageWebView, and URI Handlers. So if you could give us a bit more info on what that actually means.
Yeah, so StageWebView allows you to actually load up um, what's basically an HTML browser view within
Mm-hmm.
your Android application.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like having a little tiny browser wrapped up inside of your application itself.
Mm-hmm.
So you wouldn't even have to handle the interpretation of any of those actual elements that are contained within the HTML document that gets served to you.
Mm-hmm.
You can just pass that off to the Stage Web View, which uses the device browser.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of Android, that's of course WebKit, right?
Yeah.
So WebKit actually renders all that stuff for you. So you're able to load stuff in and display it on the screen just as you would in a web browser. So you can load in maps that way. You can load in ads that way,
Mm-hmm.
and so forth and so on.
Cool. So I'm just gonna throw an idea for a really small application that I could definitely use. Um, I call a lot of international calls, and I have in my context both international numbers and local numbers. And almost every time when I try to dial an international number, it recognizes it as a local number, and then I have to retype the number and add all the 00 and other trailing numbers behind that. So a really great, useful application for me if you build something like that, listener. Um, is something that would help deal with that, such as a tool that I could just add some sort of rules where specific numbers will just automatically get appended extra digits before them, so I don't have to deal with that anymore. Um, so that's just an idea, and obviously you could take a lot of ideas out of this chapter. This chapter is all about you interacting with more of the native features of the devices. If it's like you were saying, enabling you to integrate a browser into your application, to text message, which sounds really cool, to invoke Google Maps um, and the Android market, very interesting, and sending emails. So it's really this whole chapter is kind of like recipe by recipe, the most useful stuff you could do from interacting back with your mobile device, or we call it mobile today, or they already have better names, right? Your smart device. All right, cool. So that's just one idea. You could come up with any idea. Just by the way, the best ideas are usually the ones that are not that complicated to explain. If you see an issue and you have an issue, just build an application for it. I'm sure a lot of other people will find a usage for it.